Okay, I want to share a dream that I had on 3 days ago. And as you can see by the title of the video, the best thing that I can guess what I was dreaming of is what they call like hollow earth theory. Now I'm not somebody that's ever like studied that or done a ton of research on it or anything like that. It's not something I ever think about or look into. I really don't have an opinion on that. I just have never looked into it or thought about it. I have like heard of it and seen it in passing. Like before I was saved, I was kind of like looking for the truth, I guess, and would come across videos of like aliens and hollow earth theory and stuff like that, but I wouldn't really research it. It's just kind of an idea that I heard about and then just kind of moved on from that. I know there's a lot of different theories that people have about hollow earth. There are some Christians that believe that the Bible does support that idea. Some Christians believe that it doesn't. It's just a bunch of different viewpoints on it. I don't really have an opinion either way because I haven't had a ton of time recently to do a lot of research on this. So I just wanted to share the dream and then see what you guys think about it, see if you think it's biblical or not. When I woke up from the dream, I was like, okay, I don't know if this dream is from God, but you know how sometimes you have a dream and you just know it just has a different feeling to it than most dreams, and it's like you almost just know that it's a dream from God because this dream was so vivid and like visual that I can't get it out of my head, and it doesn't do it justice to just like type it. I wanted to like verbally explain what I saw because the more research that I have been doing on this and talking to other Christians about it, the more I kind of have a feeling that this might be something that God is giving a heads up about. And it's just strange for me because it's not something that I ever think about or look into. It's not like it's been like tainted my dreams or anything. I don't look into this type of stuff. So in the dream, I was somewhere with my sister, and I just remember a bunch of ice everywhere. Like even people were coming to ice skate. We were surrounded by ice, and this place was cold. And to our left was some sort of mountainscape, or it was kind of like an underground mountain / cave. I don't really know what it was, but visually it looked like like a jagged, dark, creepy, kind of like an evil Disney castle type of mountain. There wasn't a castle on it. It was just like the mountainscape, and it looked like, if I had to guess what the material was, it looked like coal. Like it had that like shiny, chippy look to it, kind of like coal or slate or something like that. But down within this mountain or coal, or I don't know if it was like an underground bunker or whatever it was, but I knew there were people living under the ground, under this place that was surrounded by ice. And there were like windows in this mountain, but they weren't like glass windows. They were like 12-inch thick, like foot thick ice block windows. And even though they were like thick blocks of ice, somehow, just because dreams are weird sometimes, I was able to still see through inside anyway. So I was like looking down into the earth and seeing what was going on down there. And I saw, like, just where the window was, I saw a nurse, and she was pushing patients around on gurneys. And I knew in the dream that the patients had some sort of mental issue. I don't know if they were like already mentally challenged. I don't know if something happened that was a result of something that compromised their mental state somehow. The dream didn't give me the information of what exactly happened or why. This whole thing was just surrounding the mental state of these patients. There was some issue with that. And I want to say, like, I did not get a good feeling from any of this. I knew in the dream that what I was seeing, I wasn't supposed to be seeing. It was like top secret. The public was not supposed to know it or see any of it, but I was able to see it. And I didn't really get a good feeling from the nurse that I saw there. Like, she wasn't like full out evil or whatever. The dream didn't give me too much information regarding the medical aspect of what I was seeing. It's just that I had a feeling like something very secretive is going on down there. I'm not supposed to know about it, and it just didn't feel right. So yeah, I saw the nurse pushing these patients around on gurneys that they're like, the big thing was like there was something wrong with their mental, like their mind. Something happened, or I don't know what. And then I said something that's really just kind of weird. It was two things actually, and I wrote it down here, so let me make sure I don't leave anything out. Yeah, this was like a secretive place that wasn't to be known to the public. And I knew that even though we were surrounded by ice, there was a sun down inside of the earth, and it made living underground life-sustaining. And then I turned to my sister and I said, no wonder Obama goes on winter vacations all the time. He is going down in the earth, because even though it could be cold up here, the sun somehow keeps it warm down there. Okay, so that's like really random for me to dream something like that. Obama has been popping back up in my dreams as of like the past 2 weeks. God just gives me dreams about him these past, 9 years that I've been saved. He just shows me who he is, or who he's gonna be, and what his role is. I know he shows a ton of you guys that as well. So I do have a lot of dreams, warning dreams about Obama, and I haven't had any for the longest time. And here, as of the past like week and a half to 2 weeks, it's like every other dream, Obama somehow is part of it. I'm not thinking about him. I don't just sit around looking and seeing what Obama's doing all day. I don't even care. I can't stand him because of what God has shown me about him. It creeps me out, so I try to like distance myself from that. What I share with you guys that I get about him is only because I believe God shows it to me. So it's not like I'm obsessed about him or thinking about him all the time. I don't like to think about him. I do not like to dream about him. It's just whatever God wants us to be aware of, I believe he shows me to warn other people as well. So, yeah, I said, I knew that even though we were surrounded by ice, there was a sun down inside the earth that made it life-sustaining. And I said, no wonder Obama goes on winter vacations all the time. He's going down in the earth, because even though it could be cold up here, like whether it was winter or just cold or whatever, it didn't matter about him going underground, because the sun was able to keep it warm. And like there was no issue. Like I would think about, you can't live underground because you need the sun, you need vitamin D or whatever. I don't know if it was our sun that somehow was able to like shine down there, or one of its like circuits passed through down there. I don't know if it was its own sun down there. I don't even like saying this stuff because it sounds like very like new agey, or I don't know. So anyway, but I have also over these past 9 years had a lot of dreams, and I've seen a lot of you guys have had dreams about 2 suns. But as I said before, it doesn't matter if I dream it 100 times. if it doesn't match up with what the Bible says, it's just a dream, it's not from God, and it's not true. So everything has to align with what the Bible says. So where do I even begin? I shared this dream with my friend Brian, and he said it really made him think about a movie that he just saw in theaters, which was King Kong versus Godzilla, or Godzilla versus King Kong or something. And he said that basically King Kong, I think it was King Kong. Yeah, King Kong and his family comes from an underground world. And there was this war going on and stuff. And we know that everything they put in the movies, they're always conditioning us for something. So that kind of made me say, like maybe the Lord is saying something here. And then he reminded me that it's believed that the entrance to this whole hollow earth thing is in Antarctica. And he reminded me that in my dream I was in this place surrounded by ice. And so I was doing some research, and I came across Admiral Byrd's interview that he did. You can't find it on YouTube. It's only on some other platform. It's been pulled off of YouTube, of course. But I was watching that, and he described during his expedition to Antarctica that he claims there was an entrance that he went into down into the earth, that there were mammals and a bunch of other things. I don't know if what he says is true or not, but one of the things he mentioned that stuck out to me was he said there were mountains of coal, because the mountainscape that I saw literally looked like it was made out of coal. So that was another thing that just made me say, maybe there's something to this. I know there's a bunch of different theories that people have for hollow earth. Some people believe there's this whole huge ecosystem of thriving, like greenery and animal life, rivers and things like that. Some theories, like the more new age type of stuff, is that there's what they call a superior race of humans that live down there in futuristic cities. If there's any beings at all living down there, we know that it's the Nephilim. The Bible tells us that they did not all die. Some of them somehow escaped and managed to survive, and they continued to procreate with human women, and I believe they're still populating the earth today, probably in our governments and all the elite and higher ups. And while I'm on the subject, it wouldn't shock me if Obama is one of them, because just the fact that in this dream I said Obama's going underground, and then Brian and my mom also reminded me that, I don't know when it was, I want to say it was fairly recent, that Obama did go to Antarctica. I don't know why. I tried to find that footage on YouTube, but I could only find one really quick clip of him. I couldn't find a whole lot on it. But just the fact that I said that, and also the part where I mentioned the sun, I know that some of the theories about the hollow earth and there being ecosystems and stuff like that, some of them believe that there is its own sun down there. I don't get too deep into that because it all just sounds very just not biblical to me. But then again, the Bible's very vague about things having to do with the earth sometimes. I don't know if God did that purposely or what, but I've had a lot of dreams about two suns. And if you just type on YouTube prophetic dream about two suns or two moons, there's pages and pages of it. So I know the Bible only speaks of or mentions God creating the sun, or a greater light and a lesser light. And then I also know there's extra biblical books, like the Book of Enoch, that talk more about that type of stuff. I know there's a whole debate about whether or not those books are God inspired. I tend to believe that they probably are, However, maybe the Lord allowed those books to be removed from the Bible because it's not, I feel like that stuff is more for the deeper stuff that more mature Christians want to look into, because it's salvation alone is enough of its own problem to deal with, let alone keeping in all these supposed, older books of the Bible. I just feel like people would get so distracted and like more interested in that type of stuff that we've been conditioned to believe is sci-fi when it's actually truth. So, I just personally feel like possibly God just allowed those certain type of books to be removed, so that, because it's not a salvation issue to know that type of stuff. Anyway, so I don't know if there's I don't know what's under the earth as far as that type of thing, but I don't know why I would dream that. And the fact that Obama did go to Antarctica, I don't know if what I was dreaming of was Antarctica, but it kind of sounds like it to me. Him going down in the earth like that really gives me Nephilim vibes, which reminds me of the dream that I shared with you guys, I think last year, where I saw Obama and he had pointed ears like an elf. And you guys told me that that was a Vulcan thing, which is like something from Star Wars or Star Trek. And in that dream, I saw Obama on the TV. I said Obama's the Antichrist, and he was extremely irritated with people because they were worshiping God. What bothered him was the fact that we can't see God with our eyes, and he was talking about how you need to stop worshiping a God that you can't see and worship something that you can see, basically himself. And he was talking about Jor-El in this dream, which apparently is something from like Superman, and Superman comes from another planet, and it's just like, it gives me like Nephilim or fallen angel vibes. So I don't know, it would not surprise me if Obama is not completely human. We don't even know where he came from. He can't provide a legit birth certificate. His mother, supposed mother, is conveniently dead. He does not look like who he claims to be is his father. There's just no trace of where he came from. And sometimes I'll joke and say, for all we know, he could have hatched from something. He could be a clone, a Nephilim. I don't know. There's something about him that's extremely creepy. And so now I'm dreaming that Obama is going under the earth. And we know, like in Genesis, there were giants / Nephilim in the earth in those days. And I know there's a lot of theories. People believe that Obama is a Nephilim. Some people believe he is a clone of Akhenaten. There's a bunch of different theories out there. And there's even a clip on YouTube of where he is in like Peru or something, looking at like old ancient hieroglyphs, and he is looking at this image of, I don't know who or what it's supposed to be, but basically it's a character with big pointed ears, and he says, hey, that looks like me. So it's just very similar to the dream that I had where his ears were pointed. And when I shared that dream, you guys let me know that there's somebody else on YouTube that had a dream where Obama had pointed ears. So that's just very indicative of Nephilim. So that's just, I don't like dreaming of that type of thing. That's really creepy to me. So yeah, I don't know why I would dream something like this, because I don't necessarily believe in like the hollow earth theory as it's been like taught, or how people think. I know there's a lot of movies that people will tell me that has like hollow earth in it, but I'm not a movie person. I've never been a movie person. I don't watch movies. I can't sit still that long and focus on a movie for 2 to 3 hours. So I don't ever watch movies. So I pretty much any movie out there, I've never seen it. I've only seen a small handful of movies before, so I'm not aware of what they even show in the movies as far as underground worlds and things like that. I am completely clueless to all of it. So I've heard before about people believe there's a whole other sun down there that sustains life. I don't know. I don't really subscribe to that unless you were to like point it out to me in the Bible somewhere. But the Bible is kind of vague on that type of stuff. So if you can think of any scriptures that you feel backs up this whole idea, please feel free to let me know. Or if you have any scriptures that you feel proves that it's not true, that it's not biblical, feel free to let me know that as well. But I do know that there's like, you know, hell and Sheol and different places down in the earth that are biblical, and the Bible talks about the earth being on pillars. I don't believe that the earth looks the way that NASA tells us it does or shows us with their like CGI shots and paintings and things like that. I tend to believe that anything NASA tells us, that the complete opposite of that is most likely the truth. I know there's also a lot of theories out there about the earth, whether it's flat, it's round, it's a globe, it's a dome. That's something kind of more towards along the lines of what I wonder about. I've never really thought about what's under the earth. So anyway, yeah, just feel free to leave those scriptures, but please don't turn the comments into a debate session. I really am on the fence about all of it. I don't really have an opinion either way, so don't feel like you have to like shove your opinion down my throat of what you believe. Just leave the scriptures that you feel does or doesn't back that idea. And maybe just like a quick explanation why, and that's really all I need. It doesn't need to be a debate, or you don't need to like try to convince me either way. I will always just do my own research. But these past few days I've kind of been looking into things here and there and see if there's any like biblical support of there being a hollow earth theory. But if it's true, it doesn't necessarily have to mean that there's like a whole other earth down there and all these things. It could just, I mean, we already know there's bunkers, underground bunkers, and the Bible does talk about, you know, the elite going down into their caves and thinking they can escape, and the rocks fall in on them. So there's at least something down there. But, you know, we know there's tunnels and bunkers and all kind of underground, not good things going on. So there's something down there. It's just I don't necessarily know what it looks like. But in this dream, I said, no wonder Obama's going on winter vacations, which I don't even know what that means. And I said he's going down into the earth. And Brian reminded me that there was all these certain elites, I don't know who it was, that went to Antarctica, and there's a lot of different ideas about what they were doing there. We can only imagine what's going on down there. But in this dream, I saw some sort of medical goings on that I didn't get a good feeling from. And the fact that I knew that the issue with the patients was something mental, the dream didn't tell me this, but I'm wondering like if maybe there's something going on down there regarding the whole V word that everyone is being conditioned into getting right now, because I've been hearing a lot of different stories about bad reactions, allergic reactions, deaths, all kind of different outcomes from people taking this thing. And I had a dream that I shared last year, I believe, where they were starting to give children some sort of medication that was causing them to have some sort of mental breakdown, or it somehow affected their mental state. And so I'm wondering if maybe that's what I was seeing. Maybe that's what caused what I was looking at. But then again, I don't know if maybe these people were already mentally challenged people. I really don't know. It didn't say, but I didn't get a good feeling from anything in this dream, and I knew everything was top secret. I wasn't supposed to be seeing it. It wasn't for the public to know, but I was able to look down into the earth under this rock, cave, mountain, this coal mountain thing with ice windows, and see that they were doing this, and Obama was going down there. And I'm talking about this sun that's able to keep it warm enough down there to sustain life, and just things that I don't think about. So just let me know what you guys think about that. I know a lot of you guys have studied and researched the whole hollow earth theory, and a lot of you guys believe that. So just feel free to share with me what you know, share scriptures, and as I said, feel free to also include scriptures if you believe that it's just not biblical. But every time I dream about Obama, I feel it's for a reason, that the Lord's kind of giving me a heads up to be aware of something, or just to know about something going on, or to warn other people, or to compare with other people. So let me know if you've had any dreams about him, like being underground, or any dreams of him being, I know a lot of people have had dreams where Obama looks like a monster. He's not completely human. Do you believe that he is a Nephilim? But yeah, if there's any sort of race of quote-unquote people living down there, you can pretty much guarantee that it's the Nephilim that didn't fully escape the flood. And I believe a lot of them, as I said, are in the government and things like that. So we always are hearing about how they're going underground into their bunkers or whatever. So I just wanted to share that, because that was just very unusual for me to dream of something like that, because I don't think of stuff like that. I've heard about those theories before, but I just always thought it was just a theory, because I never really read in the Bible about a whole lot of stuff like going on under the earth where people are living, and suns and stuff like that. So, but I also believe, there's probably things that go on in this world. Not everything's going to be written in detail in the Bible, or as I also mentioned, they could be mentioned in extra biblical books that we just that aren't a part of our Bibles anymore, that have most likely been removed by the elite to hide certain knowledge of things. But at the end of the day, God is the one who allows or disallows things to happen. So I kind of just feel like he allowed those things to be taken out of the Bible, because the bigger issue is just salvation. That's just like deeper stuff for those who are mature in the things of God, that, want a little something else to look into. But the Bible talks about it says something like, the more knowledge that you get about the truth of these things, the more sorrow that you get, because it's very sobering and can tend to be a little bit depressing to learn the truth about the world and how everything is spiritual. And the more truth you learn about where we live and how we've been lied to about everything, and certain things have been covered up and hidden from us, the Bible is right. The more you learn about that, the more sorrowful you feel. It's a very I don't know a word for it, but it's like the veil is removed from our eyes, and we learn that nothing is as we have been taught, and we've been taught that sci-fi movies are just sci-fi movies, but we've learned that every movie they put out, it's conditioning us and preparing us for things, which is probably why they put out the King Kong Godzilla movie, talking about underground stuff and wars going on. And it also wouldn't surprise me if, and this sounds crazy because like I said, they've conditioned us to believe that these type of things aren't true, but it would not surprise me if there are actually even dinosaurs underground somewhere in bunkers or whatever's down there in Antarctica. Because have you guys ever seen that Illuminati card game? I think it's from the 90s, but you know, they show the Twin Towers, they show President Trump, a pandemic, everything major that's happened is in that card game. It's like, you know, they're calling the shots and like basically telling us what their plans are and what's going to happen and everything. One of those cards is it shows dinosaurs, and it says that they quote unquote accidentally escaped a barge on like the ocean or something. And again, with the movies, Jurassic Park, I don't believe that that's just a random movie that they decided to make just for the heck of it. I'm not saying it's for sure, or I definitely believe there's dinosaurs still living somewhere on the earth or under the earth or whatever, but I'm just saying it wouldn't surprise me. And the fact that I learned that there's an Illuminati card game on that just kind of makes it that much more believable. I used to have this recurring dream all the time before I was saved, where I was being chased by a T-Rex, and I would have to hide under like this crawl space of a house to get away from it, and it would come and like sniff me out. So if there was like ever a time on this earth where that card would come into play, it would be during the Great Tribulation, where just all hell is going to break loose. I believe the pit's going to open and things are going to come out of hell. Like, a lot of you guys have seen things. Even my own cousin had this dream where there were huge, like, house-sized spiders coming up out of the ground on Earth. And, like, we just don't even know what it's going to be like. That would be the time for that one to happen. Could you imagine something like that? Again, I'm not saying that that's, you know, the case or whatever, but I'm just saying nothing surprises me anymore. If you told me that that would happen, I would be like, okay, like, I would totally believe that. So, yeah, for me to be dreaming about all this underground stuff, I don't think it comes from me. So either the Lord is trying to give a heads up about something for us to be aware of, you know, something Obama's doing down there, or some sort of medical experiments or something down there. Just let me know what you guys know. And that's all I have to share for now. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Bye.